Hi, I'm Drosta. I am the Executive Administrative Assistant for the Marlin Police Department.
I'm Officer Malden with the Marlin Police Department. I've been with the department since February of 2018.
My name is Officer Scanlon. I'm a patrol officer with the Marlin Police Department.
Well, before we get started, Slugger, I just want to say thank you. You've always supported the police department, and I know that you reached out to Captain today, and unfortunately you guys didn't get to touch base before he left. In Chief's absence, but still our Chief, he gladly welcomes you coming to talk to his officers and just find out the things that you just mentioned about what they expect in the Chief. So we thank you for all your support over all the years of the Marlin Police Department.
What type of leader do you think the Marlin Police Department needs?
First of all, I would like to say that Chief Pessis was excellent. He was awesome, and so what would benefit us, what me personally would be looking for, is someone who kind of mirrors those same qualities that Chief Pessis has, but also who coming in would understand some of the restraints that the Marlin Police Department faces, and somebody who's creative, able to think outside the box, somebody who's going to be able to do what needs to be done with the restraints that we face. And Chief Pessis was awesome in looking out for us, the officers. So somebody who looks out for us on an individual level and who understands the community, who understands what the community wants, what the community needs, who understands what ails this community, and think of creative ways of how we can address that.
I personally believe inside the police department, the officers that are hired, there's thorough background completed on each applicant, and I believe that also needs to be done for any administrative position within the police department. We are held to a higher standard, and certainly the police chief and captain would be an even higher standard because we are looking up to them as our leaders. And I think that would be important to make sure that we find someone that would be best suited for the job, that can be professional, has integrity, morals, ethics, someone that gives us a leader to look up to.
I would kind of mirror those same comments. As peace officers, we're definitely held to a higher standard, and like I said before, we're all expected to have integrity and honesty and things like that. So somebody who mirrors those, who has those qualities, and it's such a dynamic situation here in Marlin, and heading this department is unique, and so you're going to have somebody who's, like I said, creative, and who's able to think outside the box and be a little different, a little more dynamic. So,
What are some of the qualities that you believe that the Marlin Police Department needs in a chief?
The community is watching every aspect of our life, whether we're on duty, off duty. So I think it needs to be somebody that has been molded or is molded into the kind of person that we feel like is a leader.
And I think that that's one of the things, I know Scanlon just has something that's falling out of his mouth, but I think that's one of the things that Chief said when we were talking to him earlier, that he didn't mind that we talked with Slugger and talked with Marlin, but he wanted us to uphold the reputation of the honor, and I say the honor that they, the vow that they made to serve and protect. So the professionalism and the reputation has to be there, because just like Officer Malden said, we're all being watched. People look at each one of us, and they look at us from different perspectives. So we're all being watched. And if you want the respect of a police department, then you have to have respectful people in the right places to do the leadership and have a proper reputation that signifies what a police officer is all about. Officer Malden was reading the mission earlier and looking at the mission when we were talking about that. You know, you don't want anybody in your organization. It's almost like a family, really. You don't even want anybody in your family with bad reputation. You know, and I'm just saying, you know, because you kind of shy away from those people. But I think that, you know, the more with all the things that Marlin and especially the police department has gone through, struggles, challenges, and reputation, the last thing we want to do is, you know, have a team that, you know, has more eyesores. We want a positive team. We want people to look at it. And that's why we're doing this now. Because Slugger was the one person that asked us, you know, what is it that you guys want? And the guys were more than willing, guys and gals, were more than willing to say, hey, you know, this is what we want, this is what we need. So I think reputation is truly a key, because we want these officers to get the respect that they deserve from the community. And they're not going to get that respect if we don't have the right people in the right places. When Officer Scanlon and Malden are talking about the characteristics, when we think about Chief, we think about somebody that's willing to listen, somebody that has an open door policy, somebody that takes into consideration the things, the trials, both professionally and personally, that we're going through. So, you know, when you talk about the characteristics, you know, a leader as well as a follower, somebody with ethics, morals, and values, high standards, as they said, and most of all, somebody that is honest. You know, because, you know, as I think Officer Malden or Scanlon was saying before, you know, we become like a family, and there's a trust that we have to have amongst us. And I think it's even more so important. These guys have taught me so much since I've been with the Marlin Police Department about trust. It's more important that you can trust the individuals that you work with, the ones that are supposed to be, you know, have your back. So I think that, you know, in a character of a chief, that's the key thing, that chief will have their back and go to bat for them, or he'll be man enough, woman enough to sit down and coach them through so that they can make the right choices and decisions to further their career. And then that's just my observation from what I've learned from Chief Pessis, as well as what I've seen the team, you know, how they look up to him and respect him, and they are willingly following him. He doesn't have to tie him by a string and pull him along. They're willingly following him because of his leadership. So I talk all the time. So I think that, you know, we can all say, you know, that's what we're looking for, is somebody that, you know, that we can follow.
Well, there are a plethora of tools that we could utilize to do our jobs more effectively, and you know, those tools will definitely come in handy. Staffing is always a concern, as far as, you know, especially for officer safety, to make sure the staffing levels are adequate to keep the officers safe when we're trying to do our job. But, you know, equipment is always an issue, and we can definitely use more support in that area.
You know, I agree. You know, the resources is what, you know, from an administrative standpoint, in doing purchase orders and writing grants to try to better serve and help the police officers. These are people that lay their life on the line for us. So we want to make sure that they're taken care of, you know, and I just think of things like, you know, tasers and other, you know, things that they need to protect themselves when they're out there. You know, the streets of Marlin have better things than we have in our police department, including our vehicles, you know, and I know that, you know, we're in the process, but it's an ongoing thing with maintenance and oil changes, and we have to make sure that our officers are ready, you know, that we want them to protect and serve the community. They have to be able, and they have to have the proper resources to do that, which I think is what Officer Scanlon was saying, and I think that Officer Malden would agree. They do a great job. You know, that's the one thing that I pride this department in being an administrative assistant. I watch them go out every day and do the best they can with the little resources that they have, but they make the best of it. So I'm really proud to be a part of this Marlin Police Department and to be able to work alongside two of our finest officers.
All of us at the Marlin Police Department would just like to assure the community that we're still here, protecting the ones you love, and here to protect and serve the community. And that nothing has really changed, and we're just going through a transition period. We're here to serve you and to protect you. If you need us, give us a call.
As an officer with the Marlin Police Department, I hope that each of you in the community will still believe in us and trust us. We are here for everyone, and we try our very hardest to make this community a great place to be, and we want everyone to feel safe. And with that being said, thank you so much for interviewing us today. I think it will be very helpful for the community to hear our perspectives on some of these topics. And a special thanks to Joseph. She is an amazing
Oh,
leader
thank you.
in our department. And so she has helped us stay strong and has kept all of the department glued together, so to speak.
Well, you know, it does take a team effort. So we thank Marlin Pride for giving us an opportunity as the Marlin Police Department. I'm so proud to say that because I'm so proud of the officers that serve the community that I work with. We thank him for hearing our voice and giving us an opportunity to, you know, voice some things that are so positive, because we know that, you know, together as a family, as a team, that we can continue to do, they can continue, I just do the talking, they can continue to do, you know, to serve and protect, as Officer Scanlon said. We want you guys to come out on National Night Out next Tuesday, October the 2nd, 5:30. We want to see the city council, we want to see the mayor, we want to all form one big family, find out what the community needs and wants. Slugger's going to be out there talking live with us and DJing. You may not know that, but Slugger's going to be out there. So come out on National Night Out on October the 2nd. We look forward to hearing from you guys. And post your positive comments when Slugger posts this, because we want to hear from you. We want to communicate with you. And we want you to know that we thank you again, Marlin Pride, for this opportunity. And we thank you, community, for supporting your Marlin Police Department.